This message is for an energy who has, it's like this zest, lust for life. It's kind of like over the years in your journey, you've been somebody who you've really wanted to kind of say yes to every opportunity because you don't want to miss out on living life. You know, I'm hearing to the fullest. You know, you've had this, you've always wanted to be like yes to every kind of experience that makes you feel like you're living. I also feel like you might be somebody who has a tendency to have fallen into this escapist energy. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna see what the message is, because clearly it's like a really beautiful energy, but something, I think you're having some kind of shift, maybe some kind of awakening has been taking place for you. Yeah, you're definitely somebody who, I think when you were young, you were so scared of not having experienced life. Maybe that means, you know, there's a part of you that on a soul level you knew that maybe this is your last rodeo, you know, maybe you're like, yes, I want to get it right. But you haven't realized that until maybe more recent years. In the past, you were just kind of running off. Maybe, I think this, it feels like this urge to want to, sometimes it might have been distracting yourself actually, which is that escapist energy, but I also think sometimes it was that wanting to make every moment count. Titanic has just come through. Okay. Leo energies, summertime could be really important for you. This is within the next 7 to 14 days. I'm hearing something about expression with that. Truly. An expression. Something that allows you to feel that fullness again, that life. Oh my God, this is a card of communication. That's literally what it is then. So something is developing, and right about now, somebody is mind and mentally active. They're connected to their intuition though, which is very important. So they can find that balance. Remember, your intuition isn't the fears or the desires. It's truly that deeper inner knowing that it just feels right. It's guiding you. You know, yeah, something's developing. This is definitely someone who you feel like you've been quite idealistic as well. You know, maybe you've really loved the things that look good. You know, maybe they've brought you some kind of joy. And I'm not saying, I don't even think it doesn't feel like ego fueled as much as it feels like just like this, maybe it's your inner child just channeling this energy, wanting to experience it all. I think something to do with your past lives is really important here for you to have got to this point. Maybe you experienced that once, and then in another life you had the complete opposite. And now it's kind of like you understand the balance of both. And the devil. Okay. So there has been some kind of materialism here though. So that's something to be mindful of. Fire energy again, expecting the unexpected. But I think that's you. You're that person. Maybe you've been a bit like really impulsive, it says on this card, in the past, you know, to the point where, like I say, escapist distractions. That's where this devil energy comes in, the curtain, the shadow, you know, masking the behind the scenes. So clearly there's something, maybe this is that awakening that's coming through, that's happening for a reason, that energy that is shifting, that this is about. Maybe you did fall into addictive energies as well, you know, because you want to experience it all to the point where you're even like saying yes to the things that are just pulling you behind the curtain even more, into the shadow even more. Okay, so you're definitely someone who, you need adventure, you need spontaneity, you know, you want to experience things, but there's been a real need to understand boundaries. Yeah, and I think for you, for a long time, that felt like restriction, because you didn't understand the healthy versus unhealthy version of self, your shadow versus your light. So I think you have actually ended up exploring in different avenues. And even if like physically in your environment it doesn't feel like it, I think you're very intuitively connected. So maybe internally you experience things for the collective, not just yourself. Okay. I also feel like there's just still something that you haven't lived out. You're wanting to truly fulfill it. God, the sun, again, more fire energy, Leo. That's your vitality. Trusting in the divine flow. You've had to have a massive lesson trusting the divine flow unfold, which means divine timing. You've had to learn how to align yourself with where divine wants you to be, which is why that shadow has gotten in the way of you truly living out your purpose. Everything that is already been written, you know, everything that already is yours, everything you already are, because you've been trying so much to put, it's like you've pulled yourself away from your own path so many times. You've had to really learn through understanding your successes, and also I'm hearing losses and failures. So it's that vitality, that sun energy, the vitality, that lust for life that I'm talking about. You've had to really hone in on that without feeling like you're being restricted. Yeah, the chariot. Chariot can go so fast that it loses balance and it completely loses control. You've had to truly learn balance. You know, I think you've had to learn how to truly direct that energy, that willpower, how to channel it in a way where it's fueling you and not just leading you into, I'm hearing temptations, but also just a place where you're just going to have to heal from, you know. I think you've had a lot of lessons in your life, your soul journey actually, and you've had to learn how to tap back into those lessons. You've got the Empress here, the Venus card. So that's really that beautiful divine feminine energies. That's it. Okay. The divine feminine energy, the chakras specifically include the sacral, so the Sthana, the Anahata, the heart, okay, and the Ajna, third eye. So these are the things you've had to learn how to hone in on, especially that sacral, because that is where that energy of those addictions come through. You know, again, that materialism as well, not just like doing things because it looks a certain way, you present a certain way, right? Learning how to, okay, this is making sense, the twin flame. This is why it keeps coming through about lifetimes, and you can connect it to the collective. And my God, the twin flame journey, you've had to go on a serious lesson then to understand that this is your journey, the twin flame journey, 1111. And that came with somebody coming to your life, maybe that divine feminine, or if it's the other way around, divine masculine, to truly awaken you from where you've been asleep for so long with this devil energy. Okay. And this is, I think, this is where somebody perhaps connected to you, but there's been this, you also have needed to understand, to learn trust in divine timing, in the divine unfold, to get to this point where within 7 to 14 days there's something coming. You've got to really learn that lesson and not trying to control it all the time. Yeah, or make it be a certain way, just trusting in it in the process, which means you've had to learn how to trust yourself too, your ability to handle it. There's expansion coming, there's a turning point. Jupiter, Wheel of Fortune. So definitely this is a big part in your journey where you're gonna be the one who gets to say, yes, I have learned my lessons. Okay, so it's in your hands. Growth. This is destiny unfolding, literally. It is. That's what I mean by your destined path is there, but it's like the choices you've made along the way to veer you off here and then there and there. Everything has taught you something. Like I said, you're very connected to the collective, so I think it's not just your clearing that you've been doing, okay? So winter time is important here. Aquarius energy as well. Again, this is talking about within 2 to 4 weeks. So in the next 2 weeks, there's something coming here. It feels like an expression, like I said, communication. And then this is something that's going to unfold over the next month. Wherever it is, it's going to help you see things clearly, more clearly than you have before. There's something, that veil that keep talking about, that curtain, it's going to lift. Yeah, something that's been stuck for a while is going to find its grounding. It's going to become unstuck, and there's going to be some kind of grounded energy coming into play. Earth signs could be important as well, okay? Got the moon, the high priestess that was underneath before at the bottom. So this is really about that silence being broken. That's how I feel. Silence being broken. And maybe it's not, maybe it's just something that you see, okay, or hear, that's going to activate this beautiful new faith within you. Hope, right? There's that faith of, you know what, this is a healing path that you're going through, and it is actually unfolding the way it needs to. You're going to have proof of that. You're not going to just feel lost and empty and like nothing is going your way, or whatever it is that's coming through, okay? That's really beautiful. Let's get some tarot. It's also coming through that the divine timing that you've had to learn how to trust has been to allow yourself, or if this is someone you're connected to, allow them the time to clear through that veil, that curtain, that shadow energy of that devil, which they've been stuck in for a while. And this is where there's been that secret energy. Things have been hidden, you know. And it says divine counterparts. So I think that actually this is where you've had that trigger, that energy where you've both really, it's like you've both shown each other the truth of who you are and how to level up without actually realizing that's what you're doing. It's been so deep, like on a level, like, you know, not just like 3D. Okay, got the Six of Swords, and that landed straight on the Twin Flame card, so there's definitely transition and progress taking place, but the Ten of Cups there as well, so clearly you have a higher purpose. You know, if you truly are working towards sacred union, you'll be doing so much inner depth work with yourself, which makes sense why that the Devil came out there. Okay, like I said, that there's a veil lifting, there's some clarity coming through. Yeah, the Fool with the Hangman, so that's confirmation that things have been stuck, but also that's about to change. There's something coming to light that's going to make you feel way more, I think just feel lighter. You're going to feel lighter and ready to move forward. I just feel like you're just ready to move forward. Maybe you truly have just closed out some kind of big cycle, you know, but there's just going to be this, there's going to be more room created for that expansion that wants to come through. Ace of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, exactly. Planting that new seed, and it's a seed of abundance. It's a seed that you can trust. It's dependable. It's solid, you know, and it's going to require you watering it. It's going to require you tending to it. It's grounding down. King of Pentacles as well. That's like, yeah, that's dependable. That's, don't forget that earthy energy that was coming through, that grounded, practical, dependable, you know, just mindful, like I say, of that, not needing to need that excessive control, but I think that's what someone's been working through. Okay, so this is what I meant by maybe you'll see something, because you got the Five of Wands here, so maybe this is where you're going to have that test. It feels like this is where you're going to have that test, where you're going to need to, remember I said you're going to need to be the one who says, no, I have learnt now. Are you going to allow that the same thing that has stopped you from the past, in the past, that devil energy, to get in the way again? Or are you going to finally see past that? Finally going to understand you've learned to trust your intuition and your inner guidance in such a way that you can see past this anymore. That really doesn't give that curtain. He's literally behind a curtain. So that keeps coming through for a reason. The prevention of this forward movement, that expression, that communication, it's time for you to finally release it. It's way too many cards here. Finally release it. Okay. That instability that has been fostering beneath the surface, you've fostered beneath the surface. This is it. Yeah. I think there's something about third party energies. Maybe I think this actually is somebody who experiences jealousy, which is why that devil energy is coming through. Because like I said, there's been that distraction, you know. You want that energy of like, yes, I want to experience life. And then it's like, hold on a second. And maybe in the past you've been so quick to go, so impulsive, that you haven't seen the warning signs. And you have ended up in situations where you've been hurt. You know, there's been sadness, loss, maybe betrayals is what I'm hearing, things like that, you know. Now that's in your mind. Doing things differently, remember? Yes, that leap of faith with a Fool, but with wisdom this time. The Fool doesn't always have that wisdom, but with this journey, you've been gaining that. The Hermit, you've definitely been gaining that soul searching. You've been learning what's been standing in your own way, including yourself, the Hierophant, leveling up, Six of Wands, because you see success on the horizon. Now this is going to be you against yourself. You're your own biggest... I don't want to say obstacle, but you are your own, like your shadow. Your shadow is the thing that you're going to have to compete against, right? Knight of Cups following your heart. Yeah, not by that illusion, you know, like I said, that the fantasy of, yeah, let's keep going, let's go. Grounded now. Ace of Pentacles, this is grounded, secure, firm. Yeah, and allowing the space for the evolution of whatever takes place, but understanding that you're mature enough, whoever's involved, to say, okay, we can understand that, we can allow that, whilst still wanting to align. Don't forget that Twin Flame card is that alignment, your inner yin and yang as well, you know, as well as externally. It's beautiful, that Jupiter energy, like this is career expansion. It's a big lesson that you're going through. You're going to be able to prove this to yourself, okay? That's what makes all the difference. King of Cups, yes. Ten of Wands, Two of Cups, yeah. Like I said, there's been something here where Queen of Pentacles, well, King of Cups, water energies, you've carried the emotional weight of this that wants to hold you back. But with this Two of Cups, I think you actually are consciously aware of this more now, so you want to be prepared for this. You want to be prepared for that Two of Cups. You want to be able to hold it down. You want to be able to respect your person and act accordingly, not just to your person, but generally, you know, to the people in your life. Okay, however you might encounter them. It's not about having influences in the way anymore. I think you've had a lot of influences in the way. Yeah, you might have even told yourself your competition, you know. It's like, not only have you had third parties on your side, you've also thought there's third parties on your person's side. Been a lot to clear up too. Once this is that clearing up that conversation, I feel like the conversation too. And the start, I think there's going to be something about you healing. Now I said there's going to be like a weight feel that feels lifted, which is that 10 of Wands. This is where I think you both create the new space to move forward, to move past this chapter. That transition, that progress, the devil. You're going to have to be honest about what's been happening. You know, because I think somebody genuinely feels like they've had addictions. That's not something you just get over. That's something that you really need to understand from their level, from their lens. You know, even if you've not experienced it yourself. Yeah, there's going to be I just keep hearing conversations. There's going to be, and it's going to require that courage to be honest. Which, as I normally say, you need to create that safety, that trust to have those vulnerable, honest conversations, okay? But also, even if you don't have that outside of you, at least you need to know that you've got that within you, that you can hold it down. Because not everyone's going to respond to you in the way that you want them to, you expect to. It's time to release that. It's time to know, hold on, how do I get to respond to this? Because the more you reveal your truth with something that's clearly been weighing someone down heavily when it comes to that emotional space, they've been avoiding it for a long time, or they just felt detached to other people. Internally, there's been absolute turmoil. There's been a lot going on, and it's time for them to say, no, I can hold this down for themselves more than anything. And not to run off the fuels of that shadow, that devil energy. Okay. I think they've had to experience a lot of third-party energies where they themselves have been, like I say, they've had that betrayal stuff. They've had a lot of uncertainty in their life, a lot of instability. But it was reflecting who they were being, because they hadn't addressed that internal. But this is where the understanding their zest for life is real, but it's about where it's being guided, how they're channeling this, as we mentioned. Look at that, the star and the strength card did want to come out. Leo and Aquarius axes, 10 of Cups. It's going to require so much courage because this is that picture, the happily ever after. It's going to require such strength of the heart space, Leo energies. You know, and I think when you in that right connection, you inspire each other. You really are, like, the love you have for each other, it feels like, you know, medicine for your heart, your soul. And it's something that you both possess, and it's not just for each other, it's for the world. It's for the people you're here to serve. You know, you're not here to heal each other, you're here to evolve together, to align with each other. And that's how you create a beautiful healing medicine, especially if you're on this twin flame energy, this journey, right? You've been mirroring so much to each other, and that truly has been your healing energy to each other, if you want to say that, right? Like I said, it's not the 3D here. There's been a lot happening in another dimension here. Okay, so you've got the 6 of Wands, 9 of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. So there's definitely progress towards knowing where you want to go, magnetizing it to you feeling the pull to it, right? And seeing it in a much better light, which is where you're channeling, again, that zest for life in a much healthier way, okay? There is 8 of Wands, conversations, High Priestess, again, silence, secrets, someone's not being honest about how they feel. They haven't, the will, time to close out. Oh my God, the Lovers, okay. Time to, that's what needs to close out. The silence and the mistruths of how someone truly feels. They've been weighing, their own emotions have been one of their biggest weights. They've had to truly go through a lot to learn how to level up. And within the next 2 weeks, this expression is coming for this particular collective, this energy is coming through. And then over the next month specifically, a lot of things are going to start to become unstuck, right? So the cogs are going to begin to start turning again. Super quickly going to get some cards from here to see if there's any guidance, just anything you need to be aware of as we move forward here. Because like I say, you're both at that space where you've learned how to trust your divine timing. So you've surrendered to a degree. Yeah. Okay, resources. Okay, something about, again, that Jupiter energy is coming through, that expansion. So there is something about your abundance also that's becoming unstuck as this does. Yeah, some kind of stroke of luck is what I'm hearing as well. Interesting. So you're going to know that this is, okay, so the Church here and then the Sunrise. Okay, so 2 things. I've had marriage come through for a reason, so maybe, I don't know if it's a wedding or something, maybe this is on your mind with that 10 of Cups that was wanting to come through, but also, you know, that high level connection, but also this Sunrise, removing collective consciousness, collective programming, societal ways of doing things, the template, the 3D that keeps coming through, removing that, right? There's better times ahead. dark is before dawn, new beginnings, as the sun rising. You're overcoming those obstacles. Problems are coming to an end. There's clarity, especially with this. The heart's going to find clarity. It's going to feel like so much lighter. You can breathe, okay? New dawn, hope, bright future, okay? It says happy beginning, but it does come with ending this energy, where I think that actually this connection itself has been stuck through cycles of the programming, societal programming telling you what should be and how it should be. It's been blocking the truth. If you're truly on that twin flame journey, it's not like normal connections, right? It's breaking the barriers of that, truly. Yeah. Finding structure in a whole new way. That heart space. Heart does not operate in logic. Yes, you need to understand your emotions from emotional intelligence. This connection does not operate in logic. This is why it's so important that intuition just keeps coming through, for you to pay attention to the guidance you're receiving. Divine guidance, signs outside of you, yes, but your inner voice more than anything. Your silence, understanding the reasons, the child, the boy, everything your inner child learnt, all the conditioning that it went through, all the templates, all the foundations that were shaky and unstable, that were not in your truth, that were creating just masks for you to have to wear to be whoever for whoever outside of you. Even the beliefs around when it comes to things like high level commitments, clearing through that, because there's a new beginning here, and it feels like you're going to feel very tender. It's going to be a very new beginning, not something you've experienced before, and it's going to require your new perspective as you move forward. Number 13, okay? Get some more clarity. Fireworks. Wow, that's passion. Number 30. Passion, chemistry, lust. That lust for life, I keep saying. Desire, kiss, celebrates, happiness, exhilaration, new year, excitement, explosive, hot sex. This again is that energy that was coming through where you just want to, you have so much within you, you just want to experience it all. That's this, you're finally going to do it, but it's not going to be from a restricted place anymore, not going to be from a place where you're misdirecting that energy. It's being, you're not harnessing it, it's just going out of control. It's not that anymore. That's why it's coming out with that child. Doing things in a new way. The compass, your true north, your discovery has gotten you to this point where you're like, okay, I'm ready to understand how I can alchemize that and make this work. Which is why this abundance is going to feel such an abundant cycle. That sunrise is real. Gosh, new beginning. Let's get another one. What else do we need to be aware of, just to clarify? Yeah, there's a house. Boundaries. Maybe you need boundaries about me, is what I'm hearing as well for somebody. Okay, number 4. Home, belonging, roots, comfort, safety, family, traditions. Tradition's a big thing here, something about tradition. I think you've had to clear through a lot, but also there's something that you, maybe you're going to be creating your own or something. Framework, structures, building, shelter, yes, your boundaries. So I think that you're going to actually find a structure now in a new way, because I think for a while it's been about out of balance, okay? Get you an animal card. So you have to deconstruct everything that was around you to become this version of you as you rise into your divine self now. Okay, so you got the eagle, number 19. Wow, challenging the status quo. Exactly. There's longevity here. Regal, proud, opportunity. Once again, it says new hope. Twice now. You're going to be able to see clear. You're actually already going through, so I can feel it. A clearer vision and perspective in the past, future, and present of your journey. Okay, get you one more animal card. Okay, 2 more. Oh, fell. Looms. Okay, this is you going all in for what you truly desire. Okay, manifesting your deepest desire, going all in for what you love, reawakening lost hope. That keeps coming through. I think that maybe you thought that because you had such a passionate nature, you thought that that's something that you had to discard, but it's not. It's just about channeling it correctly. That's where you're going to get that new hope. You don't need to not be in that beautiful energy. That's for life. It's just about recognizing boundaries, divine direction. Okay, deeply committed. Family again has come through here. So yeah, I'm thinking you are looking at family long term, but also something about honoring the boundaries with your family. So that was a stallion. Fell to the floor, of course it did. Wants to go its own way. Unbridled, not restricted. It keeps coming through, not restricted, number 4, right? Breaking free. I think you're breaking free from yourself, your own constructed chains, and that of society that you're finally seeing past. The illusion, the templates, the categories. You've got this driving force, sexual energy, passion. Truly, that is just, I think this again, and maybe you do need to be mindful with that child, Family, yes, but remember, be careful. To whatever, but desire, freedom, unleashing your inner beast, strong emotion. You do have strong emotions, but honing in on that, learning how powerful that is, how beautiful that is, how to alchemize that, how to truly tap into that from a higher level. Okay, that's beautiful. I'm just gonna get you. I think these have called me for some reason. So the connection, it's come through. So let's see. Ah, okay, so getting to know each other again. So as you reveal your innermost, deepest selves, your bond deepens. So that's just confirmation. That communication's been coming through as well, though. So there's a reason for that. Maybe, like I said, you could just see something or something. You're gonna get some kind of clarity. Okay, yeah, separation. So you're currently in a separation, that's for sure. Okay, so be mindful, free yourself from whoever you're listening to outside of you. Free yourself. Again, that could be family or friends or people just around you, or even just things you're seeing online, whatever it is, passion. It's time to free yourself. Otherwise, you will stay in separation if you keep trying to stay stuck in subtitle programming instead of understanding the depth of your journey, which is connected to your depth of your connection. Wanted to come through passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Beautiful. It's your truth. Remember your truth. Not external. Yeah, retreat. Disconnect from the world. See what else you need to be aware of with this beautiful connection. Okay, so there is a reconciliation in the cards, and yes, it is a deep soul connection in case you're wondering. But just be mindful of the attachment style that you're presenting. Like I said, that came through for a reason from when you were younger. You know, the templates that you learned. Yeah, the templates of the foundation that were unstable and unhealthy. You've had to learn how to love yourself first. That's what it's worth waiting for. Divine timing has fully been at play and you've learned how to trust that, okay? Which is why you're learning how to focus in on you now. Okay, so that's powerful, which means you're going to be so much more prepared and grounded for when this comes around, as it unfolds. Not about having the expectations got to go like this, but understanding, okay, I'm going to hold this down, do my best in each moment to hold it down, to find that alignment within me, stay centered, and also recognize that with whoever I'm connecting with, right? That's how you can have the true, beautiful conversations that want to come through, or even just whatever it is that you want to put out there for that clarity to be gained, okay? You've got this. Sending love.